Master Engineer Vorthak stood before the greatest achievement of Kethmaran civilization, the Godslayer Arsenal. Weapons forged from the compressed hearts of dying stars, each one capable of unmaking reality itself. The crystalline chamber hummed with barely contained cosmic forces, energies that could shatter planets and tear holes in the fabric of existence. 10,000 years of development, he whispered to his apprentice, Zeke Thor. Every breakthrough in physics, every advancement in quantum manipulation, all focused on a single purpose, creating weapons powerful enough to kill the Ancient Ones. The Ancient Ones, beings of such immense power that they had shaped galaxies as mortals might shape clay. They had ruled the universe for eons, until the younger races had finally united against their tyranny. The war had lasted millennia, but in the end, it was the Kethmaran weapons that had turned the tide. Master Zeke Thor ventured, his secondary voice sack trembling with reverence. The human delegation has arrived for the weapon demonstration. Vorthak's mandibles clicked with satisfaction. The humans were the newest members of the Galactic Coalition, a primitive species that had only recently achieved faster-than-light travel. Today's demonstration would show them the true power that protected the galaxy from cosmic threats. The human delegation was disappointingly small, just 3 representatives in simple, dark uniforms. Their leader, introduced as Dr. Sarah Martinez, had the typical features of her species: soft skin, forward-facing eyes, and that peculiar lack of natural weapons that made humans seem so vulnerable. Dr. Martinez, Vorthak said through the translation matrix, "Welcome to the Godslayer Arsenal. What you're about to witness represents the pinnacle of destructive capability in the known universe." The human woman nodded politely, her expression showing what appeared to be mild interest, rather than the appropriate awe. "We appreciate the demonstration, Master Engineer. Our military advisors are eager to understand the Coalition's defensive capabilities." Vorthak activated the first display, the Stellar Decimator, a weapon that could trigger supernovas in stable stars. The energy readings alone should have been enough to inspire terror in any rational being. This device, he explained, can destabilize a star's nuclear fusion process, causing it to collapse and explode with the force of 1 billion nuclear weapons. We use 17 of these to destroy the ancient one called Heliarch. Dr. Martinez examined the weapon with scientific curiosity. Impressive engineering. The quantum field manipulators must require enormous energy input. How do you prevent the gravitational feedback from affecting the firing platform? Zeke Thor's eye stalks twitched in surprise. The human was asking technical questions that most Coalition engineers couldn't answer. "You understand the principles involved?" Vorthak asked, his professional pride somewhat wounded. "The basic concept is similar to our own stellar engineering projects," Dr. Martinez replied casually. "Though we typically use controlled stellar collapse for energy generation rather than weapons. We call them Dyson spheres." Vorthak felt a chill run through his exoskeleton. The humans could control stellar collapse for routine energy generation. He quickly moved to the next display, the Reality Ripper, a weapon that could tear holes in space-time itself. "This device," he said, his voice regaining its confident tone, "can create artificial wormholes, disrupting the very fabric of reality. We use these to trap the ancient one called Voidrender in a pocket dimension." Dr. Martinez's colleague, introduced as Dr. Kevin O'Brien, stepped forward. "Fascinating. We've been working on similar technology for our transportation network, though we mostly use it for cargo shipping between star systems. The trick is stabilizing the quantum foam to prevent cascade failures." Master Engineer Vorthak stared at the human. "They used reality warping technology for shipping?" "Perhaps," he said, his voice becoming strained. "You'd like to see our most powerful creation." He led them to the centerpiece of the arsenal, a device so terrible it was kept in its own isolated chamber. The consciousness eraser, Vorthak announced. This weapon doesn't just destroy matter or energy, it eliminates the concept of existence itself. It removes its target from reality so completely that the universe forgets they ever existed. We use this to defeat the most powerful of the Ancient Ones, Omnarch the Eternal. The weapon sat in its containment field, a sphere of impossible geometries that hurt to look at directly. Its very presence seemed to create a void in perception, a gap where meaning went to die. Dr. Martinez studied the device with the same calm interest she'd shown the others. Conceptual deletion technology. We've done some theoretical work in this area. The philosophical implications are staggering if something never existed. How do you remember that you deleted it? You don't, Vorthak whispered. The weapon's usage is recorded in quantum-encrypted archives, because otherwise we would forget we ever built it. We've been working on a similar paradox in our own research, Dr. Martinez continued. Our solution was to create observer effect anchors, conscious beings, who exist outside the target reality. We call them philosophers. Zeke Thor's breathing apparatus began clicking rapidly, the Keth Moran equivalent of hyperventilation. Master, he whispered, if humans have technology comparable to our god-killing weapons, what exactly are they? Vorthak was beginning to wonder the same thing. He decided to ask directly, Dr. Martinez, what is the most powerful weapon your species has ever created? The human woman exchanged glances with her colleagues before answering. That's classified, I'm afraid. But I can tell you about some of our historical weapons. She activated a small device that projected holographic images. This was called the Tsar Bomber, a fusion weapon we built in our nuclear age. 50 megatons of explosive force. Vorthak relaxed slightly. Nuclear weapons were primitive by galactic standards. Of course, Dr. Martinez continued, that was just a test device. We never built the 100 gigaton version we designed. Too dangerous to test on our homeworld. 100 gigatons? That was approaching the destructive capacity of their smaller god-killer weapons. And this, she said, showing another image, was called Project Sundial, a theoretical weapon that could have destroyed our entire planet. We decided not to build it because we only had one planet at the time. Dr. O'Brien added helpfully, these days we mostly use antimatter for large-scale excavation projects. Much cleaner than nuclear weapons for terraforming. Master Engineer Vorthak felt his worldview crumbling. Dr. Martinez, he asked weakly, if your species can build planet-killing weapons and manipulate stellar processes, why did you join the Galactic Coalition? What could we possibly offer you? Dr. Martinez smiled an expression that Vorthak was beginning to recognize as somewhat predatory. Friends, Master Engineer. We joined for friends. She gestured toward the god-killer weapons. You see, we've learned that when you build weapons powerful enough to kill gods, you eventually have to ask yourself a very important question. What happens when you become the thing that needs to be killed? The chamber fell silent, except for the humming of cosmic forces. We decided, Dr. Martinez continued gently, that we'd rather have friends to remind us to stay human. Vorthak looked around his arsenal weapons, built to destroy beings of unimaginable power, and realized he was looking at toys compared to what these deceptively soft creatures were capable of. Perhaps the most terrifying thing about humans wasn't their power. It was their restraint.